Now I want you to take a look at something. This log is being decomposed. That's right. This fuzzy white material on the surface of this stick is actually an organism that belongs to a class of fungi called saprophytes. What are saprophytes? Well, saprophytes are decomposers. What they'll do is they will actually excrete an enzyme from the little mycelial strands into the surface that they're colonizing, that they're passing through. And that enzyme is custom tailored to digest the material that they're inhabiting. In this case, it's lignin. It's the woody material that you find on the bark and in the wood of a tree. So since the tree is dead, the mycelium finds its way through the little cellular gaps, and it will actually digest the material as it moves through in situ and take that digested solution and use it for food, absorbing it exogenously. See, the way that we eat is we ingest food and then it goes into our stomach and we digest endogenously. That is a totally different way of living and organizing itself. And the most amazing part is that it does it completely ad hoc. If I were to cut that stick in half, I'd take one end and put it on one stick and the other end put it on another stick. It would colonize both and it would act the exact same way it did on the first. Now, why is a decomposer so important? Well, it all has to do with the carbon cycle. Just like we have to take our trash, let's say metal, we have to take that metal as a scarce resource. We have to decompose that into a liquid form and then recompose it into something that's useful for us again. Well, for the environment, mycelium is important to decompose all of the waste that falls to the forest floor, leaves, twigs, logs, and return that carbon back into the soil and back into the atmosphere through plants. I also want to talk about why I like decomposer fungi, and that's with this. The way that we make mushrooms for people to eat is we will colonize all of the sawdust that's in this bag with mycelium, let it spread, let it eat, let it grow, and then when it's ready, it makes a mushroom for us. So it's extraordinarily important to understand these things, because as decomposers, these could actually lead to hints about how we can be more sustainable in our lives. For instance, blue oyster mushroom, Pleurotius austriatus, mycelium was actually conditioned to digest glyphosate, which is a pesticide or an herbicide rather, that you may have heard of called Roundup. Roundup itself can actually be digested by mycelium and turned into something that is relatively innocuous and can be returned to the carbon cycle. We can use it to unlock metabolic chains within mycelium to digest plastic as well, which is currently being researched. In fact, so because we find ourselves in an environment where petroleum has played such a massive role in allowing the vast population that we have all over the planet to live a better quality of life than we've ever had ever before, we can now use mycelium to help us close that loop and take all of these wonderful petroleum products that we have made and then turn them back into carbon, and then the carbon goes back into the carbon cycle. Check out the other stations where we go beyond digesters and we go to cooperators. For that, we're of course talking about mycorrhizal, so stay tuned.